Today we're talking to Nigel Wilson, and he's one of the creators of EasyPPL. So welcome, Nigel. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Excellent. Yes, in good spirits. What we're going to try and do today is to give you an idea of how useful a tool EasyPPL is. Nigel, what exactly is EasyPPL?
Okay, so EasyPPL is an online system that we created that gives you everything that you need as a student pilot to learn all the subject material for the theoretical knowledge subjects that you need for your license, whether that be PPL, LAP, or MPPL, or Microlight, or whatever. So the courses are bespoke. So I wrote all of the courses, and the object of the exercise when I wrote them was to enable someone to use this system without the use of any other books or any other material to gain all the knowledge that they needed, not only just to pass the exams, but to put them in good stead for the real practical information and practical knowledge they need that they're going to use in their day-to-day flying. So you'll get a lot more out of this system than you will by reading any books. In addition to that, the system gives you tests and a course exam at the end, so you can see how you're progressing through the system. You get study statistics to work out how long you've been studying and how you're performing against yourself with regards to your pass marks and things along those lines. The reason we made it online is because it's completely up to date all of the time. So as soon as there's any changes in regulations or changes in best practices, we or I update that course or those courses to reflect that information straight away, and you have all the information at your fingertips whenever you're using the system, which you can use from anywhere, on a phone, on a tablet, at home, on the bus, wherever you want to go. The system remembers where you were when you last logged on, and you pick up where you left off. So it's pretty easy to navigate. As I said, it's always up to date. So in that respect, you don't have to worry about, going back and worrying about whether your information is current, which unfortunately some of the books are out of date already, particularly with a view to the new CAA online E-Exams, which we are very familiar with. Yeah.
Second, that's one of the questions, and part of the reason for this interview. We've had feedback from various sources that the new online examination system, the questions are more difficult than the previous paper versions. Would you say that's the case?
No, I wouldn't actually. They're different. The questions are different, and it's a huge step forwards, in my opinion, as a head of training, in that the questions that they ask do actually now test someone's knowledge of the subject. So they've taken all the questions out were to do with, almost like a testing of your understanding of English grammar, the way the questions were worded. So that, all the multiple choice answers, like is it A and B and C, or B and D and A and E, or whatever it is, they're all gone. So it really is a very straightforward test or check of your knowledge of a subject. So the reason people think that the exams or the questions are more difficult is because if you think about the good old days, so to speak, where you had written papers, there were only 3 written papers per subject. So there were a maximum of, say, 60 questions that were all known throughout the whole industry with regards in the UK to a PPL exam for a subject. So the new E-Exams, they've introduced a whole raft of new questions. There's over 1,000 questions that they pull from in the new question bank. And so consequently, what's happening is that they're asking questions in pretty much all of the areas of the whole syllabus of a subject. So gone are the times when you could actually go to someone and revise for or I would say that you've learnt the subjects, but actually all you've done is pretty much learnt the questions. So even the books in some respects are a little bit out of date in that they're almost not guaranteed enough to answer or cover the material in enough detail for you to answer the questions that are now being asked on the exams, even though they're all within the syllabus. So we get quite a lot of feedback from people who are taking the exams and have taken the exam. And again, because it's an online system, we update our system to make sure that two things happen. The first thing is that we have definitely covered the material that they're asking in the questions within our courses. So the courses will get updated and tweaked to make sure that everything's okay and that you've got everything that you need. And also all of our questions that we've got on our system to do with the progress tests within each course and the course exam at the end, they've all been added to. I've added about another 500 questions across the board in the past couple of months, reflecting the style of questioning that you will get in the new e-exams as well as making sure that, again, we cover in our question banks the areas that we are seeing them cover in the new e-exams. But ultimately, we want you to know the subject. That's the important thing. That's the whole idea of the syllabus, that you know the subject, and it's just a test and a check of your knowledge of that subject before you're issued with a license.
So would you say that using EasyPPL actually gives you a much better grounding in the subject? So you've got a knowledge that you can take with you.
Absolutely. We've had lots of feedback from people who are using our system who previously have tried to use books and in some cases failed the exams. And also just from a general feedback, people tend to love the way that we've written the courses. They tend to love the way that we present it, and also the way that we structure the courses as well. If we take an example, just very quickly, air law, for example, can be a bit of a law from its losses. All of our courses are very graphical, colour, pictures, and the way we structured air law, as an example, is we take you on a flight through air law. So, we look at the air law regarding your licenses and your documentation to start with. Then we look at air law to do with flight planning, then air law to do with, the actual airfield, the departure phase, the en route phase, the landing phase, and everything in between. So it's sort of structured in a much more easy to understand way than just sitting there studying rule after rule after rule. And that's just one example of what we do. So we get a lot of feedback from people, and they love it. Needless to say, we keep an eye on the performance stats of people as well. Not Big Brother, just out of our own interest to make sure that our questions are aimed at the right level. It's pointless having questions which are too easy and everyone gets right all the time. So we look at all of those things to come up with a package that everyone is using. We've got over 2,500 users on the system already, and they're having a whale of a time, all enjoying pretty much, if not all of them, 100% pass rate.
That's fabulous. So it all comes down to how much is this going to cost? Okay.
So for your students, it's very, very easy. You buy a course for £9.99. That's all that it is.
So that's it. In real life.
A tenner. A tenner for a course that lasts a month. And invariably, you'll want to do that course in a month. There's a little bit of an incentive there as well. The reason we don't make it last longer than a month is we want you to get on with it. Okay, so you buy the course, you study for the course, you do all your progress tests and everything else that goes with it, and then you sit the official exam at the training organisation. We've also got courses for existing pilots as well. So then they don't miss out. We've got an infringement avoidance course, and that one is for free. So that's worth jumping on the system and doing anyway. And of course, on all of our courses, you get fantastic support as well. You can ask an instructor via email. That comes to me and I answer it. There's explanations to questions on the system as well, because we have an option, if you really want to, not to buy the whole course, but just to buy the question bank, if you like. We don't tend to recommend that, not with the new E-exams, because of what I've said about them covering new areas within the syllabus or delving into any part of the syllabus. So the only way you can be sure that you know and have knowledge to pass the exam is if you actually take the whole course. But we do offer a question-only access to the system if that's what you want, and that comes a little bit cheaper, $6.99. But you know what? For the sake of an extra £3, I'd go for the whole course, which includes the exams anyway. So,
I mean, considering the equivalent book is £22, and they are out of date. They always go out of date.
Yeah.
Certain subjects never do. NAV and MET, they're the same.
Yeah.
But you know, I think particularly with the new E-exams, you know, having an up-to-date system all the time, there's got to be a bonus to the PPL. So would you say that your system is much more useful for the new system of online exams?
It is. We believe it is. And we've had our online testing capability for quite some time. And actually what we did, we modelled that on the way the CAA tests the ATPL people. So the look and feel of our system when you're taking the online progress test and the online course exam from our system looks remarkably like and feels and is presented very, very similar to the actual CAA E-exam system and process. So when you go to do the real CAA exam, it's not going to, you know, be a completely alien system to you. You'll have seen the style of questions. You'll have seen the way that you click on the links to, you know, to select the questions within what they've given to you, and how to answer them as well. So it's all in all a really good system. And as I said, we've had people who have failed the new exams prior to them studying with us come to us and actually wished they'd used us right from the beginning.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Nigel. I think that's given people a good overview of what EasyPPL is. We have arranged to have a portal through our website directly to EasyPPL, and you can click through from the website, and we'll get you on your way then. So
good.
Thank you, Nigel. It's been very helpful. Good to talk to you. Nice to meet you at last.
And I'll hear from some of you soon.
Thanks again.
Okay, cheers. Bye-bye.
Cheers then.